Hey guys, it's Mr. Godley here. How are you? I'm just messaging you from my office at home. I'm recording this message for you because unfortunately I'm not going to be able to do a traditional assembly with you guys given all the limitations with COVID, etc. So I wanted an opportunity just to go through some of the work that you guys have been doing in PSA2 over the last few weeks, and hopefully to kind of make sense of some of it all and put it into a little bit of context for you. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was your options post 16. Now you've had a presentation which hopefully your tutors have gone through with you to give you some of the options, and you're probably considering things like apprenticeships, college opportunities, and possibly going on to a sixth form, whether it be Lydia Park Academy or anywhere else. They're the three main options. There's also a fourth option that is fairly new to the market. It's what's known as a T-level. A T level is what's known as a technology level, and basically, or technical level, I should say. And basically, what that is that it's an opportunity to go to a college such as New College or Cirencester College, and be part-time student and part-time. Not employed as in getting paid, but working with a business to learn a trade. So sort of similarly to an apprenticeship, except it's much different in as much that it's not full-time. So a T-level is a really good choice for young people that may want to consider things like business administration, health and social care, and a whole variety of other options that both of the colleges are providing now. Now, typically, those opportunities are quite limited because you have many young people that would like the thought of kind of doing a combination of both work and some theory work in a college. And also, obviously, given that COVID is having some challenging times in the economy at the moment, many employers are a little bit not quite set up yet, not quite ready to take on young people with these T-levels. However, if anybody is interested and would like to know more, the best place to go are the websites for New College Swindon and also for Cirencester College. Both of those will give you lots and lots of information. Now, I've had a number of people come up and talk to me in recent weeks in regard to possibly considering apprenticeships. And there's been a bit of a change on apprenticeships. And there are a number of apprenticeships that were available at what's known as level 2, which is where you're at the moment with your GCSEs, and unfortunately some of those have been withdrawn, so it makes it a little bit tricky. So there's a number of apprenticeships that are available at level 3, which are more sort of aligned with an A level. But of course, at the moment, you're not quite at that level because you're still doing your GCSE. So it's not impossible to get a level 2 apprenticeship, but a little bit more challenging than it was 12 months ago. And once again, my advice would be to check on the college websites, on New College Swindon, and to a slightly lesser degree Cirencester, but certainly New College Swindon would be one to consider. They have many apprenticeship opportunities in many vocational subjects. So that would be a great opportunity to have a look at that. I also want to talk to some of you in regard to sixth form. Now again, whether that be at Lydia Park Academy or whether that be anywhere else, sixth form primarily are geared up for more academic A-level subjects. A majority of the sixth form providers in your sort of traditional sixth form providers, such as ourselves, Ridgeway, Wootton Bassett, may well have a couple of courses that are what's known as level 3 courses, and they can be in subjects such as business and IT and health and social care, etc. It just really depends on the school and what they're offering. And those would be a combination of coursework and examinations. Of course, the majority of A-levels are purely exam-based. And any teacher and anybody that you know that is taking A-levels will probably confirm that they're quite challenging and they can be quite difficult. And what that means is that most schools have what they call entry requirements in order to get onto an A-level course. And we're no different at Lydia Park Academy. In fact, it could be argued that at times we're a little bit fairer than some of the other sixth forms. So entry requirements really for A-levels, and I'm being very broad here, but you'd really be looking to make sure that you're band 5 and above across a majority of your subjects. Now, if you're thinking about doing A-level maths, physics, chemistry, economics, psychology, ideally you'd want to be having 6s and above, and that will form part of a conversation that you may well have with somebody when they interview you for your sixth form course, again, whether it's here or anywhere else, and they will want to know how you're progressing at school, what your grades are, and are you likely to achieve level 5s and 6s and above. Because really anything less than that not only makes it difficult for you as a young person, but also can be quite challenging in terms of the sort of motivation to really continue to work hard on some of those courses. Now, look, I'm generalising there, and that's not the scenario for everybody, but it's really important to think of the fact that actually, are those courses the right courses for me? Just because one or two of my friends might be staying or going to a sixth form, is that the reason for me to stay? And the answer is not really. It's part of it, but actually it should be about you and the choices that you make that are actually going to be really beneficial to you. So my advice would be, if you're thinking of either apprenticeships, either T-levels, either sixth form, and a majority of the other vocational courses that the colleges offer, is to do your research. It's not either mine or your tutor's role to try and research that for you. What our job is to do is to point you in the right direction. And my advice would be to look at all of the websites and have a look when they have virtual open days. Have a look when they may have actual visit open days, which may be difficult at the minute, obviously given COVID, and we're not quite sure whether all that's going. But you've got to do your research. The other important thing is to have what they call a backup plan. Don't just rely on one offer. Don't rely on going to one place. Always have a look round, see what the options are available to you. Because the most important thing is getting your appropriate grades, but also where you decide to go next September. Because even though you may get offers from a number of colleges and a number of sixth forms, you still have a choice as to where you might want to go. And that choice must be yours. So, probably for the first time, you've got a real choice and some real options. Now, during the course of the next few weeks, I'm going to attempt to try and meet with as many of you as I can. It's going to be very difficult given obviously how things are in school at the moment and the fact that we haven't got quite so much freedom. It's also difficult for me to take young people out of classrooms at the moment because you've lost so much teaching time as well. So my plan would be to possibly do some sort of group interviews, and that's the reason why the career pilot work you've done has been so important. The career pilot work allows me to understand what your thoughts are and where you think you may like to go for your post-16. That will also allow me to identify those of you that really have got no clue and are maybe considering that actually none of apprenticeship, vocational, college, T-level, sixth form is an option for you. Well, unfortunately, I think you all know this anyway, you have to be in some level of education between the ages of 16 and 18. Either full-time education or apprenticeship or T-level, those really are your, or obviously at college, and those are your main options. So actually not doing anything is not really an option. That's not on the table. So we'll do our very best to try and find some relevant information for you, to offer relevant information to you. But at the same time, you've got to do yours. You've got to do your thing. And your thing is to get on those websites and spend some time and do some research and have a look at the options that are open to you. I want you to be very realistic with your ambitions and your aims. And I want you to be very, very honest with yourself as to whether you think that if you're getting a band 3 in maths, are you going to be doing A-level maths? The answer is no. So you have to look at alternative options. And college providers are fantastic at doing that. So is sixth form in certain elements, so are the T-levels, and so are apprenticeships. But you've got to consider where you are and what is the best option for you. Okay? I hope I haven't confused you too much with that. The idea of this obviously was just to try and explain that not only maybe have a plan A for your sixth form, but maybe have a plan B for a college or another sixth form, and just kind of think, and you know, and even in certain cases have a plan C. What you'll find as you go through, you know, different periods of your life, that what you set out to do doesn't always quite happen. But it doesn't mean to say that that's going to have a negative impact. It just means you may need to find a different pathway. So you look at many people that have gone on to gain degrees, for example. They may not have done it through the traditional way of going to university. Some may well have, of course. Hopefully you would have seen through one of the presentations that to become a fully qualified nurse, you do need a degree. However, you can actually do that through somewhere like Great Western Hospital. They'll take you through the whole programme. So there's a number of ways in which to look at different options, and having those different kind of plans and those different opportunities and those options to you with a bit of luck will mean that you can make a good decision. But at the same time, obviously I'm here in the careers office. I know, of course, that means going across a bubble. You're not going to be able to do that, but you can always email me, and if I can answer any questions for you, then hopefully I can. I'm going to try to get everybody now completed onto the Career Pilot Pathway Planner, and that will then give me some time to start planning, and therefore I can have some meetings with either in kind of small groups, maybe the odd one-to-one. It just depends on the circumstances. But as I said, if I leave you with one final message today, be realistic with your aims and ambitions. Please be aspirational as well, but try to kind of, you know, start to tailor that aspiration to a bit of realism as well. And look at your choices for sixth form, look at your choices for college, possibly apprenticeship, possibly T-level, but do your research. All of the providers will be having opening days, virtual events, and all of those dates will be on their websites. So it's up to you now to do a bit of your research and try and find out what you'd like to investigate and what you like to look at. And let me just finish on this final note. Doing nothing is not an option. Okay, we need to make sure that you guys are okay and you've got some plans. It might be with Lydia Park Academy, it might be with New College, it might be with Cirencester College, it might be an apprenticeship, it might be a T-level, it could be a whole manner of things. But doing nothing is not an option. Okay? Well, look, thank you so much for listening, and I hope I've given you, you know, as much information as I can possibly share with you using this kind of video content. It's a little bit alien to me, as I'm sure it is to you as well. But with a bit of luck, there's some good advice, some good information, and I'm only an email away if you do have any questions. All right, guys, thanks so much for listening. Take care. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye now.